is Claire Dalton and I'm an art historian, and I wrote the contextual essay for this exhibition, Irish Women Artists 1870 to 1970, and we're in the Ava Gallery in Clandeboy. Well, this is an exhibition covering 100 years of Irish art. 1870 to 1970 was a period of great change in Ireland, obviously, coming after the Great Famine, encompassing the Easter Rising, the Civil War, and 2 world wars. So there was a period of a lot of change for women in general, and especially for women artists. So when we go back to the start of this time period, women artists were not given the same opportunities as men. They were sort of denied their training and their sales. They couldn't take the same anatomy lessons or life drawing lessons that men could. They were only allowed into the RHA schools in the 1890s. So to go from that to the mid-century, mid-20th century, being not just a large part of the organisations, the artistic organisations in Ireland, but actually running them was a huge change, obviously, and it's something we want to reflect and to give a platform to artists, both well known and slightly less familiar, and from all over Ireland, really, to show the kind of work they could do and the media they worked in, from oils and watercolours to sculpture and bronzes and wood engravings and embroidery. We've arranged the show in 2 different rooms. So in one room we have the earlier works from the 1870s onwards, and they encompass the works of artists who studied in France. Now, a lot of Irish women artists and a lot of male artists studied in France at one time or another, and in fact France had a very big influence on the development of Irish art in general. So in this room we have artists who went to study in Paris and in the south of France. We have Sarah Purser, Maria Dorothy Webb, Helen Mabel Trevor, and Georgia Mutri-Kyle, who is an artist from Donaghadee, one of the first to actually exhibit Breton landscapes back in Belfast. And she was doing something that was new in Belfast when she brought these images back. She was also a founder member of the Ulster Academy of Arts, which became the RUA, and one of 4 female founding members in the 1930s. And the rest of this room actually, it's given over to the pupils of the Metropolitan School, who were really highly influenced by William Orpin, who was a teacher there. And this was at a time whenever things were starting to change a bit. William Orpin brought in models from London, and he let the girls talk and smoke in classes. So things were sort of modernising a bit. Here we have Estella Solomons, Kathleen Mackie, and an early Mamie Jellett, showing her kind of figurative work and her more naturalistic work before she went to Paris, became involved with Cubism. The corridor of the gallery has a selection of works really that span the exhibition itself in a variety of media, from gouache to wood engravings and illustrations from books. Then the main room is the more modern room. We have a section that is based on the Dublin Painters Society, which was set up by Grace Henry with her husband Paul Henry, who's become more famous than her, but actually she's a very significant artist in her own right. And we have the Irish Exhibition of Living Artists. There's a lot of crossover between the 2. So we have artists such as Letitia, Marion Hamilton, Eva Hamilton, Mary Swansea, Nora McGuinness, and Mamie Jellett. Well, this was an exhibition that has been a while in coming. In the 80s, there was another exhibition of Irish women artists that was held in the National Gallery in Dublin and the Douglas Hyde Gallery. Now, we've got 40 years of hindsight based on that exhibition, and we can see the influences that continue in Irish art, and really we can reassess the importance of the women artists here. And yes, they're important as women artists, but they are also important as Irish artists generally, especially the modernists who kind of brought Ireland into a new era. So we also listen to a lot of feedback really from the past. We have a loan show every summer, and we've had visitor feedback that said we want more women. So it was really giving a chance to see the work of a lot of different women artists. As you can see, they're not all of the same style. They're not all working in the same media, but it gives a chance to see the breadth and depth of what they could produce, and any of it would stand up very well, I think, against male artists at the same time period.